Hey guys, how are you? Hard to believe the year is going so quickly, isn't it? So I'll just introduce myself. Hi guys, I'm Yvonne Stanton. I'm a online fitness and nutrition coach for women only. And today's topic is to stop comparing yourself. Yep. Women, I'm sure, compare themselves more than men would ever, for sure. So let me know if you're here. Let me know if you are watching the replay. Check in with me. I'm here. And this topic is hot. And the reason it's so hot is because we do it in so many different areas of our lives. And it's got to be the most limiting thing you can do to yourself, for your mind, for your confidence, for your self-esteem. So we need to create new habits. So jump on, let me know you're here. I know on my personal page, I didn't have a notice for you. That's okay. I've just shown up. I'm just checking my group. And if you're not in my group, join my Facebook group. The link is above. It's a free group. There's lots of great stuff in there. So love to have you on board or in board. Somebody is watching. Say hello. Where are you coming from? So I don't know about you, just totally before I get in today's chat. Has anyone else been feeling really, Huh? I don't know. My energy has been so good. And, with the whole new moon thing, the energy was really good. But today I feel this heaviness on me. I feel energy. So I'm attuned to it. And I was on a coaching call this morning and my energy was so flat and there was nothing I could do. I was just there. Sometimes you just got to sit in it. Anyway, I'm much better now, but it was really flat from the moment I got up and I did all my affirmations and I've been talking to myself. And these are the things we're going to talk about today. So hello. I'm going to get to it today. I've got a full day of work today. And I want to talk about comparing ourselves and the evil to that. So I pulled up an article actually, and it was quite interesting because comparisons is actually normal. It's a normal part of the human, brain, I guess, right? So, but where it's not good is when we aren't in a good place ourselves, because then when what you're doing, you're comparing yourself to someone else where they're in a different place in a different time, and we don't know what's happening to the other person. So it's really important to, we learn, right? Life is about learning. Life is about sitting in silence sometimes. Anybody get that feeling when you sit in silence? I sat in a lot of silence when I was going through my divorce, right? To go inward, to learn, to look at myself. So why comparing ourselves is unhealthy. It's like you want to be looking at yourself and telling yourself so positive affirmations, positive things. And sometimes we need to say things to ourselves, even when we don't feel like it, because eventually we will start feeling better about ourselves. So there was something, I saw it, I think it was on Instagram, and I can see the person and I just can't think who it was. Anyway, and there was a plant, okay? This was a child had two plants, or somebody had two plants, and one plant she would talk to every day and she watered it. And the other plant she ignored, it was kind of like the one that she just didn't do. It was the one that didn't get as much attention and talked to. So this plant, they're both at the same age and they both look the same. But the one that she nourished and talked to grew and blossomed and flowered. It was incredible. And this is who we are, right? So we have to be nice to ourselves. It's up to us. So when we start comparing ourselves and you're coming from a place of lack, not feel good, not where you want to be in your life. And this could be related in anything in work, right? Like anything in life. It could be in your job, in your career, in your relationship, in your own personal goals, right? In everything we do, right? This is like the full circle. In your family, like think about all the areas of your life. And we want to be thinking about the joy and the happiness. And there'll be somewhere in there that something maybe is not resonating with you in some area of your life. That maybe is where you are putting an emphasis and a lack of not good enough, which then gives you less self-esteem, less confidence, and walking in a room and lighting it up. Because we want to be walking into a room and lighting it up because we feel good and we love ourselves. And even sometimes when we're not, it's really challenging to do that when we're not in a good place. So I just wanted to share about limiting those beliefs of where you're not today, but where you're going to change the mindset, to change how you look at yourself. And rather than comparing yourself, go, wow, whatever that is, that person that got a promotion or somebody got, oh my God, I have a quick story to tell today. A good friend of mine, she messaged me. We were chatting this morning. We were going to catch up for coffee, but she couldn't. She was going to yoga. I was taking Sasha for a walk and wanted to go for coffee because I knew I had such a flat chat day today that I wanted to make sure I got out of the house before I got into work, right? So get out, have a coffee, be around people. Anyway, so she didn't. She went to yoga. And then all of a sudden she sends me a text message and she says, I just won a $3,000 ring, diamond ring on the radio. And I'm like, huh? So what is the point of this story? Is that some people might hear that and feel, oh, why did she win a ring? And not be so happy for that person to have gotten that ring. And I was like, oh my God, you deserve it. She's the most giving person. She's a beautiful friend. She's always had my back. And she's like that with everyone that's in her circle. I was like, the universe is saying thank you because you give so much to others. So we have a choice every day how we want to show up and how we want to encourage. And even on my coaching call this morning, right? There's a group of us, there's about 14 of us on the call this morning. And every one of us are getting different results. Some people are killing it, like killing it. And I haven't really done as much because I've had my other stuff to look after. And so my effort and my results are not showing up like theirs. And what that can do to you, you can actually look and say you're not doing enough and not feel good about yourself. And actually sometimes not even want to move forward and continue to work because you feel like you're not doing enough and not as good as them. And what are they doing that I'm not doing? Get it? All those things that we're saying to ourselves. And it's actually has nothing to do with any of that. They've done the work and I haven't. And I was like, wow, there was so many amazing people have accomplished so much in like 2 days. Like it was amazing, amazing, amazing. And I was just like going, yep, I just need to get focused. That's what I'm doing, right? I'm thinking to myself, I know, I haven't been doing what I said I was going to do, but I've had to just shift it because the last 2 weeks I had other priorities going on and I moved my deadline for this amazing event that I'm creating a few weeks back so that it gave me time to sort of have those couple of 2 weeks that I knew I just couldn't focus on it to be now this week, even though it's not over, I've got stuff, I'm doing it and I will catch up. And whatever that means in my own time, catch up, right? So I'm sharing these two stories because we have a decision and a choice how we want to be and show up. And when we are comparing ourselves and seeing someone else's wins and successes, it is a reflection on where you are. So you can either be really happy for that person and go, wow, look at her, look at that person. They look amazing. They're so in shape, you know. Obviously I'm a fitness and nutrition coach. So I'm talking about that specifically, but also in every area of our life, because you don't know what work they've done to achieve those goals and to look that way and to be eating those amazing foods, right? So, how do you show up? Because showing up is for you. Showing up and having more appreciation for things and gratitude will come back to you. It always comes back to you. So, the coming from a place of not good enough and not feeling the way you want to feel, not toned enough, not fit enough. Ask yourself the questions. Are you doing the work? Are you getting up and putting the effort in? Because you can't compare yourself when you don't know apples to apples. And you're never going to know someone else's what they do compared to what you do. So you're always gauging yourself by you. But I look at things and think, come from a place of more optimistic, where if someone's looking so good, you can get there too. So with all my, my teammates that are succeeding, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm getting there too, right? So it's always knowing that, yep, I'm going to do that. Yeah, that's going to work for me too. But we have to sometimes really work on what we say to ourselves and come from this place of gratitude to be not maybe feeling that way or being resentful to somebody, to give more love, right? Give. So let's just go back to some statistics about, what the real life effects of comparing yourself to others can do. Negative, right? Negative thoughts, negative reactions, reacting. So weird. The sun is out, and yet it's raining. It's funny, isn't it? Got things on the line. So you're in a reactive mode by doing that. It also can cause anxiety, right? Anxiety is, just so you know, anxiety is a pattern that we create. So it does start from a different place. It starts from a fear-based or something that's happened, but eventually anxiety actually can turn into a habit that we can create within our thoughts that create that spin in our stomach. I Googled it. I went through some anxiety a few years ago, and I had actually twice, I couldn't breathe. So I had a panic attack. Not a fun place to be, I must tell you. And I Googled it because I've always been like, it was like really, but something happened to me. I was in a lot of stress in my life, and it was just a lot of stuff going on. So I Googled anxiety, and I realized that it's actually becomes a habit. So people that suffer from anxiety, they haven't gone inward to create and change what is the, how that triggers them and how they figure out how to stop it. Right. So everything is from here, right? The fear of the brain in the back that tells us to support us because something's happened. And then you're going into a reaction. So we are in control of this, and going inward and knowing what is causing why. Ask yourself more questions, right? So how do we learn? These calls I'm doing is about giving you education and things to be able to take home to change where we are. And when we start looking at ourselves and our thoughts and our beliefs in ourselves can be limiting you to being that person you want to be, and that, healthy, fit, strong, that woman that's got tons of energy and she loves life and, feels amazing inside her skin, right? Because that's what everybody's wanting to feel. I get that all the time. want to feel comfortable in your own skin. So how do we get comfortable in our own skin? Sometimes it's a matter of the things that we are saying and that what is being reflected outward, right? We can feel energy, right? Everyone knows this. Energy is like real. You can feel my energy here. Hopefully it's sending good vibes and good energy. Because if I was coming on here and I didn't have good energy, that would not be good, right? Because you would feel that energy. So today, I just want to make sure, can you feel my energy? That's the first thing. I want you to, I just got goosebumps. So comment below, replay, and if you can feel my energy and it's a positive energy, because there's one thing I want to make sure it's a positive energy you are feeling. So our energy is so, so important, all right? And I remember there was a time where my energy wasn't so good. All right, guys, ladies, I can tell you, I know exactly when it was and where I was in my life that my energy was not good. But I've had to work on that. Things have changed in my life and I'm back in alignment, because when we can't feel our energy, sometimes it's also because where we are in our own self, right? So going back into, how it can create all these, anxiety and depression, overspending the time in that energy is really unhealthy. So we need to stop it. So how do we stop comparing ourselves to others? Well, let's just go, thoughts become feelings. So what we think about, we can bring about. And sometimes we can't be around certain people, right? And this comes to boundaries. Maybe you need to create some boundaries. If you are feeling a way about someone that makes you feel bad about yourself, that can also be where it's time to create some boundaries around that, right? There's a lot of negativity effects, when we compare ourselves to others. It's a comparison trap, right? And sometimes we just have to be around the right people to get ourselves in the right place, to make sure that we are working on ourselves, right? And being the person we want to be to achieve the goals we want. So 8 practical ways that you can stop comparing yourself, which I've already talked about. What do you think the first one is? The first one is practice gratitude. Practice gratitude. Look, I'm sweating. It's warm out today. Gratitude is always the end and the beginning of positivity. Always, always, always. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. All right. So that's first thing, gratitude. First thing you can start doing. Be happy where you are, because gratitude leads to contentment. So do you wake up in the morning and think, oh, life is amazing. There's so many possibilities out there today. Anything, the world's my oyster, right? That saying's been around forever. You can create from, if something was a bad day yesterday, you get a brand new day today to make it the best day ever. And we're going to have our best day ever every day when you wake up with that kind of attitude. Don't compare your life to the highlights and reels of others. Social media, right? So you mind your mind, mind your time. Following, if it doesn't feel good, if it's not making you feel good, then we need to stop watching or following. Focus on the strengths, on your strengths. What are your strengths? If you don't know your strengths, take time to find out your strengths. Really important to find out your strengths. Sometimes it's quite humbling to see your strengths and your talents and the things you've accomplished. Do you know what you've accomplished? Because we can get sucked into being really beat ourselves up and hard on ourselves when we're actually not taking note of what steps you've actually been through to be where you are today. I know I can be like this often. I'm a Virgo, for God's sake. Very hard on ourselves, and we're perfectionists. And I always have to go back and say, look where you are. Look what you've done. Look where you are. Always, 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 I'm going back and saying, wow, you've accomplished so much. And even when I don't, I go, you know what, at least I'm trying and I'm putting myself out there and I'm being in it, right? Really important to know what you are and who you are. So write things down about yourself that you are your strengths so that you can identify yourself, good people skills. Think about it as a resume. Put yourself out there. Do you not think resumes, people are always putting out their best things that they think they are, even though they might not be able to do those things. All right. Be proactive. Love people. People are people. Doesn't matter where they are. Doesn't matter how much money they have. Doesn't matter where they live. People are people. I've always been like that. My dad was like that. He taught us like that. And my whole family, people are people. Okay. So what are your 3 things that you would be writing down about yourself? And maybe that's the thing you should take from today. I want you to write down the 3 things that you are amazing at and really proud of yourself. What are the 3 things? Love for you to share them with me. Pop down, in the comments below. That would be so amazing. Put it out there to the world because you're owning it, right? It's about owning you. Own you. I posted the other day some stuff about my life, I own me. I celebrate me. And so going back to the 8 steps, the 8 things, celebrate other people, as I was just talking about my stories. The stories of a girlfriend getting that beautiful diamond ring, and I celebrated her, and I'm so happy, and I can't wait to see it on her finger. Celebrated the teammates that are doing amazing. Makes you feel good when you do it. And learn to compete with yourself instead of others. So I do that really well. I don't know. Is it from probably, I don't know. Maybe I have a feeling it's a sign. It's my sign as a Virgo. Anyone else is a Virgo, comment, let me know. Because I think about when I was a dancer all those years, you're competing against your other friends, even for that matter, in dance competitions. But I always competed against myself. So sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. But I'm going to say it's still better to, you want to learn how to compete with yourself, because then at least you know what you've done as far as all the training because let's talk about fitness, right? So where I am today in my life, and I took some photos yesterday for my social media. And I don't really look at myself so much, but I looked at myself and I was like, hey, girl, you're in great shape. But I've also been really working really hard. I've had to change up some things. I've got a personal trainer helping me because I just couldn't keep pushing myself. I didn't have the energy and fitness, a lot of fitness coaches and trainers, we have personal trainers. People that own their own business normally have business coaches. I have a business coach. So it's always investing, right? I'm always investing in myself to make sure that I am keeping myself accountable and doing what I want to do. And that is the difference, right? So I focus on my goals, not others' goals, because that keeps you grounded. And it keeps you knowing what you have done to achieve those goals. So if you want to become fitter and leaner and have stronger muscles and definition, because that's what a lot of women say. They want to look like, have these great arms and I'll take it. I've worked hard, right? Like the hours and the years and the consistency. So it's those things that we have to look at. What are you doing to create those results? And here's the one I already talked about, boundaries. We need to have boundaries around friends, sometimes family, and certainly on social media. Unfollow people if they're not making you feel good. or set a timer that you only allow yourself so much time on, social media. Turn your phone off when you're having dinner or catching up with a girlfriend for coffee, or put it in your bag, right? Like, that is an irritation for me when people are looking at the phone and you're hearing it beep. It's like, put it away. Unless it's something that you have to have it because you're on call. But like, it's like going to the loo. You're not bringing your phone to, well, we won't talk there. All right. So create boundaries. And the last thing is going back, take a social media fast. When you actually take a break from it, you will be back into your own life. You will focus on yourself and the people around you, and you're gonna see a whole new side that you forgot about. Like, I really appreciate some people that have never been on it, but I know that I couldn't imagine not being on it because life is on it. But there is times even in my own business that I just have to go, okay, I'm not going on that today. Like, if I do a post or I'm in my group talking to my customers, then it's like, okay, then I'm done, right? I can't turn it off because I might be going out with a friend. So it's the way we communicate. But I certainly have to ignore my social media, right? Because I'm not running a business 24/7, right? We all have to have downtime and time off. So really important to think, if you're creating and comparing yourself to others, maybe it's time for you to take a break. Just go off it for the weekend. And don't look at it. Just shut down the apps, take them off, remove them, because they all come back on, or put them in the folder on your phone so you can't see them. So they're off the front cover. So that's my quick chat today. I really hope that this has given you some really good tips to think about, at least. I would love you to comment below if any of these have been helpful. Hello, who is that calling me? Yvonne Stanton. If any of these have Hello, been Abby. Helpful. Oh, so nice to see you. Hello, who is that calling me? Just muted myself over there. Hey, Abby, great to see you. You'll be getting some of this stuff, for sure. So what are you taking home today, Abby? If you've been watching the whole time, I want you to write down those 3 things. Make a list. Get those boundaries up, right? Especially when we're running low on empty, when our cup is like flat and we're exhausted and going through a lot in life. Those are the times that we really need to go inward, fill the cup, protect our energies, because it's time to refuel and look after yourself. So I hope this message has served you well. I hope you're getting some great value from these calls. If you want to know more about how you can work with me, comment below, comment above, comment below. I will put I will be having another masterclass, but not for a while. I've actually pushed it off. So, but you can sign up for it with the link. I will put the link in there, and have a great Thursday. And I hope that you've gotten some really great takeaways today. And I look forward to reading the replies. So comment below. All right. Have a great Thursday. Ciao, guys.